Hey YouTube, we're gonna sit here topless. I am wearing pants. I'm a man, so my boobs are allowed to be on YouTube because I am male. I'm not a female, so I'm allowed to sit here with eye shirt on. I made a movie called The Trump Card. I'm in the process of figuring out how to cut it back. And the Trump Card is supposed to be about a government program in which they pay for things for homeless people. And I'm sitting here thinking about how are you gonna, what can you do to make free food, I was sitting here all last night popping out of my mind, exploding about the ideas for making free food. If you're gonna make free food, the best way to do that is for the government to pay for it in the manufacturing price and put it in stores for free. They pay for the free food at manufacturing price and put them in stores for free. And you want a cool product that homeless people will grab off the shelves to feed themselves and their family for a couple of days. They have the dry food. That was the really cheap meals. They're dry meals. I have an idea for dry meals that you don't need to heat up. You can eat them at any temperature. It's like beef jerky. And my idea includes a patent for a vegetable jerky that, when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, what would you use to make a vegetable jerky? It would have a broccoli base. It would just say slightly like vegetables, but using broccoli to make it. And you can make it with nuts, sunflower seeds. You need a meat, a vegetable, and a dried fruit. We already have dry fruit, but you make a dry fruit that's more thick, like a jerky, and it's like a fruit snack. And the packaging is very important. Now, I was already planning on making a food company that made sauces that taste good on white rice and bread nuggets, and I thought of some more products I could use in my thing while I was brainstorming. Innovations in food. I want to make a food company that's artistic expression through the innovation of food. My food would have social movements attached to it, and I would be a filmmaker. I'm trying to get on TV. I'm being screwed right now by YouTube. They won't let anyone know who I am. Like, they control whether or not I get to be famous and not whether or not my work is good enough to engage people. It's really ignorant that I don't have any reward people seeing my work and telling me who I am. And because I don't know who I am, I don't feel like special. I feel like piece of having a hard time, always struggling to just in my living with my mom and dad. Okay, you know, Keith was making the movies with me, and I was really motivated to do something for Keith. So if I had a patent, if the government is paying for it in the manufacturing price and people are getting it, it's gonna be, if I could do it, I can make it cool, a really cool product, and I would have a patent. The safe thing to do for the economy would be to make the government make free food, but the government has an exciting product or exciting products that they do on the thing where there's not competition for the government one. And if you get a patent for vegetable jerky to make a broccoli-based jerky and how you make it, if you can figure out how to make it in a really cool way, you can make them so they have the people that are just looking for something is competitive, that the stores will have it. People are paying for it in the stores. The ultimate reward would be if it pays back the government, that the government somehow got money into their revenue from how they're giving away the food for free, and then they get a kickback for the sales, for regular sales, helping the companies, or the companies pay for the ones that are not as free. The government's manufacturing them and selling them, and the government's still paying. The government has to pay a certain amount of money. So if the government doesn't pay, because you have to keep track of it, I'm talking about pennies on the dollar. I'm talking about 50 cents for a $4 item, 50 cents for it, or 25 cents for a $2 chips. The government needs to make chips, but these are manufacturing contracts. I went through all of this in my head. To make it good for Republican presidency is to make manufactured USA contracts that the government is helping US manufacturers, and it would go all across the line about anything from clothes to electric heaters to toys for your kids for Christmas. And you would want to have stores that have the government contract. Eventually you would have either departments and department stores or stores for the government clothing. The ECU, it would be a label. I'm thinking ECU, Economy Card Universal. And there's also Economy Card Stimulus. You either have one or the other. An Economy Card Universal would still have the same amount, or a poor person's budget on a stimulus thing, so they don't have to eat the same food all the time, and they're getting a more quality for like regular SSI people. There's ways to even put like $45 on everyone if they were going to make everyone have a free meal for the month or something. or just do people on SSI, people with welfare card or anything. But if you get the universal card, you're really in a hard time, and the government is paying the manufacturers to make ECU universal. They're going to have tents and sleeping bags made in USA. They would give them the contracts released. That's why I say they would have them, because the US government would jump on giving them the contract. The government pays the stores 60 cents on the dollar. And we already talked about it in the movie about how you get the contract, you're saving money. The government is, when you get the contract to be in stores, that's your reward. You're selling things to the stores. The stores make less money on the government sales. The government's buying things for free, but they still have the government brand. It's a quality, award-winning thing that people are supposed to want to buy. And the government helped the manufacturer get into the store to put the government. The ECU is like a government will pay for it for poor people. Okay, I know. Talked a lot. Sitting here with Asher on, you can see my boobs. I'm really beautiful. I'm a handsome man. An award-winning autistic savant with a lot of psychological problems, including dissociation, schizophrenia, and OCD, things like that. Okay, but I'm really underestimated. I need people to perceive me as what I am. I can live up to things, but people never give me credit, never let me explore what I'm able to do, and they treat me like I'm not special. But these people that are not special treat me like I'm no different than them, and I am special in a lot of ways. I'm an entertainer. I have movies and TV, and having an entertainment brand like you're a celebrity, and your celebrity is helping to sell things. Goth Kids packaging are going to be really good. Talking about these jerkies, we would have a meat one. I don't think you can just make beef jerky. It's not a protected item. And the vegetable jerky would be our protected item. And then we'll have fruit snacks, a package that's fruit snacks, like a fruit jerky. That's like, I think people already have really thick jerky kind of fruit snacks. You couldn't patent that. Make this competitive products that the Slim Jims compete, or the meat competes with Slim Jims at about the same price for the same amount of food. And then the vegetable ones are like the same amount, but it's vegetable jerky. And you have to get the packaging on them to look like an exciting new vegan food. On these, they're too square. I'm thinking I want my things to be like square, like they're rations. It's a fantasy food, survival food. They're supposed to be fantasy survival food, but the packaging on the single ones don't look like fancy survival food, and the fruit snacks really look like the most expensive fruit snacks on the packaging. That's what you would think, because of how they're packaged, and they are sweet and extra thick, and they're sweet and extra thick. They don't taste too much like a preservative cranberry taste. That would be the problem if they taste too much like preservative cranberries. These taste better. They taste really good, like delicious fruit snacks. And then you make a 3-pack. My idea for packaging a 3-pack is one plain package. We haven't figured that one out. Like, what's the theme for that? But the 3-pack that's gonna be really cool in the Goth Kids thing is dry meals, rations, if like survival video game food, and make the packaging look like Resident Evil or something like that. Like, this is your food that you're gonna survive off of, or a video game kind of packaging, like the survival food. And it would help people think about, okay, my life is more of an adventure. I have to really fight hard to survive, and I'm going to try harder. Or if you don't like to do that, you don't have to get that packaging. That's just a packaging that's supposed to feel a certain way. Okay. Now, what I get, if I can give them the patent, if I can make the patent for the dry vegetable jerky and give them the patent to that, they have the original product. They have this entire thing. And okay, I get advertising on the packaging for Goth Kids Kitchen. I have ideas for other Goth Kids foods. The other Goth Kids foods are going to be sauces that taste good on white rice. We have light wasabi, a mild wasabi, a hot wasabi, a curry, a regular or our brand soy sauce, and then 2 for fruit salads, a cinnamon candy for fruit salads, and a hazelnut, darker hazelnut for fruit salads. And the thing for that, the social movement for that, is I'm trying to make Japanese grandma, my Japanese grandma restaurant. I want to advertise. Anyone can start a Japanese grandma, but if it becomes a real franchise where people want a copy of your restaurant, for coming up with the original idea, I want a certain percent. We'll have the family that had the original Japanese grandma. You can give this back to your family. They own a portion of, just by being related to the Japanese grandma that the restaurant is based off of. And it's a white rice. They have curry, probably stir fry, and fruit salads and white rice dishes with kitchen toppings. They make tempura. It's like fair food. Our tempura is American tempura. It's like deep fried, breaded. It's like really like fattening, fast food, deep fried vegetables tempura. and the restaurant's gonna have like a candy section, and it's Japanese grandma cares about making sure picky eaters are comfortable by keeping everything divided and looking appropriate, that you have to, if you mix up, you have to do it yourself. And I also have an idea for bread nuggets. Bread nuggets are going to be a cooking renovation. It's bread wrapped in a wonton shell. The wonton makes it so you can cook it in foods and it won't soak up the bread. The bread's still gonna be like soft, flaky on the inside. Since it's a new cooking idea and I think it's really good, I'm gonna try to get competition right away. I'm gonna give someone the right to make the bread, the ones that taste like bread. I'm gonna make the bread nuggets that have cake and like a croissant, kind of like a flaky croissant kind of thing inside of them. And there'll be 3 right from the beginning, 2 Goth Kids, one, and there's another brand that made bread nuggets taste like just like a bread, and they're the competitor, just to make people feel like bread nuggets are really cool. There's 2 companies that are making them in the very beginning. And I also have a new flavor called Ambrosia. Ambrosia is the flavor of a Japanese salad dressing. It's like a ginger and like a aquatic vegetable taste to it, like a sweet, it has like a sweet kind of like a fruity aquatic vegetable ginger taste. And I'm gonna make bars that look like butter, and also contract, because, okay, the government, an easy way for the government to give a stimulus to companies that manufacture in USA is to let them manufacture the government chips and the government pretzels. And it's free food, but it comes off of your ECU card. It's 25 cents, and they put them everywhere. They just put these crates. There's charity organizations drop them off at your store, pick them up, and drop them off as a charity. So it doesn't cost anything. They're legitimately free food, and when they're done, they can just give these out to food kitchens or churches or whatever. Chips and pretzels that are free food that the government pays for to have free food in the economy. That it's like okay food that no one has to worry about paying for. When you can give this away, it's like 25 cents. The $2 a bag, regular price, to help the store out. The store carry it. If people buy it for $2 a bag, that's why they're carrying it. I know. And then I'm going to make Ambrosia flavor. The idea is that you own the Ambrosia flavor. You're trying to make, you can get a Goth Kids bag of these potato chips. The Goth Kids bag on the bag makes it look cool, and it's Ambrosia flavored. It's like a new flavored chip. That you're trying to sell the flavor that other companies want to make Ambrosia chicken or Ambrosia flavored, anything they're making Ambrosia flavored and they're cooking and they're selling it, or potato chips or anything. If they want to make Ambrosia flavored, they have to pay for the licensing. We own the flavor. We own the name of the flavor. We don't own the flavor. We popularize the name of the flavor that people know what it is, and that's the genius thing in the food movement, to own the flavor. They think we made the flavor, but if people know it was a Japanese salad dressing, they should. And then dry fish. When I was a kid, we ate dried squid, and we called it dry fish. It's a dry cuttlefish in a bag. We call it dry fish. They could probably do that with tuna, make a dried stringy tuna that you can eat out of a bag, and it's like a dried snack that's a salty dry fish, and we can make that too, just because it felt really good when I was a kid to eat that, and it'll probably be a new item for the food market, because they have dried squid where we make the dried fish to put in a snack aisle. And that's just my ideas for the Goth Kids food company. And the first thing, if we give our patent, if we have a patent for a new food that no one else is allowed to make them while we own the patent for it, for the vegetable jerky in the jerky aisle, and we have a 3-pack of dry meal, the government puts our name on the packaging, the Goth Kids name. So when we have other products, people say this is not a new brand. This brand is a really cool brand, and it's also associated with the entertainers that make Philosophy Stones and made a couple other movies, or another movie they have seen probably seen one movie that we made. Because because look at me, I'm working. I have no one helping me, and I make movies that are real learning experiences, and they actually are entertaining. They're getting entertaining, and I have no one helping me. I'm going to be able to have an entertainment company where people associate my brand with who we are as artists, and they want to buy your food. Goth Kids Kitchen is artistic in an expression through food, like social movements. It's like all of our food items have like a big a philosophical idea that's associated with it in the copyright, trademark, whatever, the patent. That is the philosophy to make artistic innovations and expressions in food. Mm-hmm. We need an electronic heater. So give a technology company contracts to, if they can present their thing, they can make it, they can manufacture and wholesale it. We'll get it into stores. They'll make money for they'll sell a lot of them for like $25 each. So it's like 100 at a time, or $25 each. and the government will pay for those for homeless people to have electric heater. It has to have a cup heater, maybe cup heater in the back and the front, but at least in the back, so they can have warm water.